Okay. Hello, fellow gun nuts. I prepared notes because this story is bullshit, as you'll soon find out. So, this is the little story about me finally procuring this Steyr AUG A1. Didn't I have a snooze? Gonna need one of these to talk about one of these. Right, so this story started last year about this time. So today is the 19th of August. On the 26th of August I paid the fee for applying for a permit to purchase one of these and an extra barrel for it, which means I had applied for the license pretty much this day exactly last year. Anyway, it took until February 24th until I finally got the permit to buy this, which is almost 6 months ago now. This permit lasts 6 months. Then you have to go with your hat in your hand to the Swedish police and say, "Pretty piece with sugar on top, can you please extend this?" And they very seldom do. Yeah, anyway. So at the time I was eyeing one of these surplus at a store called Sport in the Czech Republic. But me as a private citizen cannot buy from that store for some reason. I'm not sure. The Czech Republic has really good rules for citizens, less good rules for people like me who want to buy cool shit. So I would have to go through a gun store, basically. So the gun store I know is Swedish Armaments. Isaac over there is really good. So I had told him I want to buy this Steyr AUG, and he said fine. And I told him, well, let's wait until get the permits in order, then you can do the rest, because getting the permit in Sweden is not a 100% sure deal. But I got it, both for the rifle and for an extra barrel. But the Swedish state agencies, we have over 500 of them. So he has a permit to buy and sell military stuff for government agencies, stuff like that. And those who handled that permit for him told him that this permit also goes for civilians, sport shooters, for example, so you can sell gear to people like me. But at the same time I got my permit, approximately, they told him that, well, we reinterpreted the rules. You're no longer allowed to sell to civilians. Well, that's bullshit. So he couldn't help me. Then I talked to SCR, another gun store I'm familiar with, and he tried to buy from Sport. But Sport told him, you have to apply for end users license thing, because from the Austrian state, and I told him to say, well, do that then. And then we never heard from them again. So Sport fucked me over. So no cheap surplus A1. Okay. So then I contacted the distributor of Steyr Arms in Sweden. They couldn't procure anything. No. And then I thought, well, fuck it, I'll get a Steyr AUG A3 which is a bunch of rails and shit on it. And it also cannot swap the barrel, because this version can just click and you remove the barrel. So, well, an AUG is an AUG. No, they couldn't procure it either. There's nothing to import. Earliest is like a couple of weeks from now, when my permit is already done and over. Then I contacted stores in Austria. Can I please import it to Sweden from you guys? Which shouldn't be an issue. They're part of the European Union. They didn't even respond to my emails. Yeah. So I kind of resigned to not getting the Steyr AUG, even though I had a permit to buy one. But then Mr. Moiku on my Discord server said, I saw on a Finnish forum, he's Finnish, that this guy in Finland is selling a Steyr AUG. And I told him, give him my contact information. And me and this person, let's call him Mr. K, I love you. He and me started talking on Signal and got to know each other. And he told me, let's do this. And then I got his information. I applied for a license because when you have a permit to buy, you have to fill in the information on the specific firearm, send it to the Swedish police, apply for a permit to import it to Sweden. And then on the 10th of August this year, 2021, 9 days ago today, I got the permit for this specific firearm, a license. I got the permit to import it to Sweden. Then the real bullshit started. Because the Finnish police demands a bunch of bullshit that no other country in the European Union demands. So I had to have a permit to actually purchase it from Finland, in Finland. I had to have an export permit, that I understand. All countries require you to get an export permit. And I actually called the Finnish police, I asked them, so I have all this paperwork from Sweden, everything is done on my end, how can I do this on your end? And they told me you can't. Well, why is that? Well, you physically have to show up at the police station in Helsinki with all the paperwork and then we'll see what we can do. Well, that's bullshit. I couldn't pay online for this. This cost, I think it was like 60 euros for the permits in Finland. I couldn't give them the papers. I couldn't mail them. I couldn't do anything. I had to show up in person. That is bullshit. So I thought about that, and Mr. K called some of his friends in the police, and he asked them, and they checked stuff. No, it's stupid. It's like 1800s rules. It is bullshit all over. So after a while, going back and forwards a bit, I just said, fuck it. I booked a flight to Helsinki, arrived in the morning. We went straight to the police, put all the papers on the desk, and this really old lady sat there with her glasses at the end of her nose and just stamped everything and took it in and disappeared. And then we went sightseeing a bit, which means we went to Varusteleka, checked out their shit, and Mr. K actually lives on an island outside of Helsinki, so we went there and walked his really cute dog, and then we kicked back and discussed how cool firearms are, basically. And then the police actually called him, and now it's when it's getting interesting again, because this was late in the afternoon. This was 3:30, and the police station closes at 4 p.m. So yeah, and we were on an island outside of Helsinki. We had already resigned to the fact that this is not happening today, even though we tried to pull on all our connections to the Finnish police to get this done. And they called him and told him that, well, we're done. Come pick up the papers. You have 30 minutes. This was during rush hour in Helsinki while we were on an island. So we basically just threw our clothes on, ran out the door to the boat, which fortunately showed up just then. And the thing is, it took a couple of minutes to get to the boat. The boat itself takes, I think it's only 13 minutes. It's very close to the harbor, and he had his car parked in the harbor. But the police station is on the other side of Helsinki from the harbor. It's basically on the north side, and we were on the south side, close to the water. So while on the ferry, I told him, can you please call up your friends in the police station and ask if some of them can, because police stations are open 24/7, but the permit department closes at 16 or 4 p.m. Anyway, long story short, he managed to get hold of his friend who took the paperwork and waited for us. And he told us that, well, you get another half hour. So 2 minutes before the time was up, I just jumped out of the car and ran to the door, pressed the intercom button and yelled, I want my paperwork, please help. which actually worked. So this big Finnish dude with a gun on his hip showed up and told me to follow him. So I followed him deep into the police station, and he showed me the paperwork. And I signed at the dotted line and got my paperwork, which was a lot of bullshit paperwork. Yeah, so that was done. Then we could relax. We went to... he took me to the airport after a while. And the really stupid thing was I couldn't even touch this rifle before coming to Sweden. That's some bullshit rules. So Mr. K had to follow me to the check-in. Fortunately, the Norwegian airline is quite easy. It has this app. So I just pressed the button. I want to bring a firearm with me, and it just said pay about 20 euros and you're done. And I just paid. So I showed up at the check-in with this case and said, I have a firearm, I want to check it in. Okay. So they put this big tag on it that says firearm in bag, and it's a picture of this single action Colt, and it says firearm in bag, holy smoke. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Anyway, that tag was on the bag. I went to the bar after going through the security check, had a beer, took it easy for a while, flew over to Stockholm, and then more bullshit happened, of course. Of course, they gave me zero information about how to pick up my gun. So the only information I had is special luggage, as it's called. It's on, you pick it up over there, but that's special luggage like skis and fishing poles and shit. So I stood there looking like an idiot, waited for my shit, and this woman showed up. She was in total panic mode. She yelled out, "Where is my dog?" And I looked at her, so shit, I wish I could help you. And then after a while I found someone I could ask, and he told me, just go over there and ask. And I really rude, actually. Never mind. I went where he pointed, asked the person there, and at the same time I stood at the counter. Someone phoned up the person at the counter, and I heard him say on the phone, "I have this firearm here. Is someone going to pick it up?" And I just yelled, "That's my firearm!" And we went around the corner, and I finally got it, which is interesting. I just showed him the slip you get when you check in luggage, and he said, "Okay, here we go. No further ID required, apparently." So then I went to the customs, through customs, and there was no customs officers there. Then I saw this nice big guy, and I asked him, "Do you want to check in my firearm?" And he said, "Yeah, I should probably do that." I guess this guy was new at work, because it took like half an hour for him to fill in the form, which is just the same information that was on all my other paperwork. So what it actually was, he had to write down the serial numbers and bullshit, stamp it and send it into the police, that I transferred it to Sweden. I told him this, so I bought shit online, guns from Germany and all over. And then the company bringing it to Sweden has to... is the one who needs to go to the customs and do this little song and dance, and that has never happened. So pretty much I could have just walked through and not given a shit about that. No one would have stopped me. Anyway, while he was trying to fill in a piece of paper, this woman from before looking for a dog showed up with this really cute dog. And I told her, "Well, I'm happy that you found your dog." And she was so happy. Actually kind of cute to see. And I got to see the little dog when they scanned the ship and everything. Yeah. So finally, I got this little rifle home. It only took exactly a year, filled with bullshit, regulations, bureaucracy, and I don't know, everything. So let's have a look at this. It is a Steyr AUG A1. I got 5 waffle magazines with it. These are actually kind of expensive. There are other magazines now that's less expensive. This is plastic Phillips, plastic follower. It is a very tilty follower as well. Never used these. I'm gonna use them this weekend. So what is this? It is I think it's like 2.5 times magnification. I don't remember how much magnification, but not much. And it doesn't have the reticule is just a ring, and that's empty in the middle. But the cool thing about this is when you lock back the bolt, there's a button here on this side, and you can just press it down and remove the barrel. It's like a light machine gun in that way. Then you bring the bolt forward, and you have a little button here. So this is spring loaded, so you've got to be a bit careful so you don't mush your little fingers. You just bring it out like that, and here's the bolt. You can disassemble the bolt, of course, as well. And this is the receiver. And if you want to pick out the trigger pack, you press down here, remove this little thing, and then this should tilt backwards like that. And here you go. Here's the totally plastic trigger housing. And this one also has an original Steyr marked oil bottle here. It's empty. I should fill this with ballistol or something. And it's equally easy to assemble again. Just put that in. It's a bit hinged, so you put it in like this. And this little thing goes in from this side, like that. It's one of the easiest firearms to field strip and mess around with. Let's see if I get this to go back together. Okay, that thing went. There we go. And then the barrel. This is gonna be super. Even I'm gonna be not gonna be lazy enough to not clean this barrel. Let's see here. Go in the hole. There we go. Just twist and it clicks. And now we're back in action. So let's see the trigger. I think it's gonna be visible. Okay. So the safety, by the way, which I always forget, is this cross bolt safety. And as you can see, it doesn't dig into your hand. So it's easy to manipulate. And then with the thumb, actually a very easy safety to manipulate. And your AR-15 fanboys is gonna say that no, you're gonna have the flip safety, but this actually works. Anyway, so let's do the grand thumb thing here. So it breaks very clean. It's a bit heavy, but it actually breaks clean, and it doesn't have creep or anything. And look at the reset. Super short. And then click. It is actually a really nice trigger for what it is. I'm pleasantly surprised. And it has this scope cover rings. Yeah, it should be a little band between these, but that's lost in time. You can loosen this bolt and remove the optics. And here is where you set the 0. And you need a tool for this. I got a tool with me for it. Yeah, it's a fun rifle. And you can put the forward grip like this. The forward grip is attached to the barrel. So I'm not sure if you're going to change point of impact if you really press it into your shoulder like this. So when I'm going to do precision shooting, I'm probably just going to fold it up and put a bag under it like this. And perhaps grab it into the shoulder like this. Something like that. That should be fine. I have to check if I'm going to suppress this. I really enjoy this old style birdcage thing, flash hider. And it has the fluted barrel and everything. It doesn't have a bayonet mount. It should be like a ring that's here, where you can put a bayonet on it. That's a bit sad, but yeah, other than that, and not having full auto, it's pretty much a Sturmgewehr 77 from Austria. Or a Steyr AUG A1 as it's also called. Right. It's awesome. I finally got it.